Hi guys, welcome to my couch. Today we'll be speaking about men, emotions, and modern masculinity. So there's been a lot of conversations around this topic, and whenever I hear this thing come up, the first thing that comes to mind is my first introduction of what manhood was or is, as the case may be, and that would be my father. Growing up as a child, I'd lost count how many times I'd seen my dad cry. I didn't say I'd caught my dad cry. I mean, seen him cry. So it wasn't like he was trying to hide to cry or no. I grew up seeing it very normal for a man to cry if he needed to cry because I'd lost count how many times my dad would cry. I mean, I can remember one Christmas, we're just all at the table, you know how Christmas is. Everybody just around the table making noise. Everybody that's finished cooking. We're trying to quickly eat before we go to church, that kind of thing. And then we was just seated. So we just, said great and we're just about to eat. And then my father just burst into this heavy tears, like heavy heaving tears. And all of us just stopped. Like, there's just silence. Like, that was said, hey, okay, that was problem. That was problem. My mother just kept looking at him like, what's the problem? Like, what's happening? You know. And then he took his time. And after he was done, not done, because he was not done, he just said, oh, I'm just happy that all of you are here. And I just wish I knew my dad. And then he just started crying again. And all of us just came around, hugged him, love you, daddy, those kind of things. And then that was it. We just said great and then went on to eat, banter, laughter, jest, and all that. And that was and is who my dad, I've always known my dad to be. My dad will, if something hurts him, he's going to cry. If he's happy, he's going to dance. Till I was in university, quite frankly, if my dad offended me or any of my siblings, my dad would kneel down. I don't mean bend down, like he would kneel both of his knees on the floor to apologize to you. Like he'll come to your room, meet you there and kneel down. All of us know the word earnestly in my house because my father would always say it. He begins his statements with earnestly, like, oh, earnestly, I am sorry. We used to have family meetings. My house was very open door policy. We used to have family meetings. If you're angry, we just came to pray in the morning. If you're angry, but I'm just say maybe you squeeze your face. My father, what is the problem? After the devotion, it's meeting straight up. So we used to have meetings where everybody will say what they don't like about the house or an individual or something, and then whoever it is, take mental notes and begin to change. So you could always just say, Daddy, I don't like the way you talk to me. I don't like it. I don't like the way you talk to my friends. If guys come to the house, I don't like the way you look at them. You scare them. My male friends will come, they'll be saying, the way your father looks, the way your father looked at me. I don't like it. And we're all girls in my house, actually. So my father will just say, oh, okay, I didn't even know my face was doing anything. I'm sorry, I'll do something about it. I'll change it, that kind of thing. And that was a culture I grew up in. I'd lost count how many times my dad told me I love you till today. Then if my friends read the text messages that come from my dad, they just think it was a guy weighing me. I've lost count the names my father has called me this lifetime. Right now, anyways, the name my father is on for me is my star. I don't know who gives him these concepts. He can just sit down. There was a time my father called me my life investment. There's a time my father used to call me, there's a time my father used to call me my flower, whatever it is. And that was just what I understood. It was later on that I got thrown into society that I began to hear things like, oh, men don't cry. And I began to think, where did we get these ideologies from? Because the first introduction of who being a true man is my father. I'd seen him cry if he was hurt. And it gave me very ample room to cry. It gave me a very ample room to express because then I understood that he knew what it meant to cry. He knew what it meant to be hurt. He knew what it meant to be excited. He knew what it meant to be happy. I didn't see my dad let her be fine. I told him, I'm not going to forgive you to go to heaven. My father came to the room. He knelt down, he apologized. Now he talks about it, sermons and stuff. It's a joke. But it boils down to men, emotions, and modern masculinity. I think being a man is just being able to fully embrace the spectrum of your emotions. Embracing your emotions doesn't mean excusing bad behavior. Embracing your emotions simply means that you come to the awareness that, oh, this emotion does exist. This is a trigger for me. This makes me sad. This makes me happy. This makes me distressed. This makes me joyful. Understand, recognize, and embrace the full spectrum of the emotions that you embody as a man. When you understand, embrace, and recognize these emotions, then you can know what to do about them. I think the most cruel rule that ever hits the man race is suppressing of emotions. I don't know what that even means, to be honest. And I don't see the relevance of it because anything that is suppressed and not properly handled, dealt with, addressed, that's something. You think you've suppressed it, but it's just warming up. The day it begins to bubble and burst out, you have no control over what is going to happen because it's been suppressed for such a long time. So I think it's just about range of emotions. And then also the fact that it's about time that we challenge the idea that vulnerability is weakness. Look, a friend of mine and myself were having a conversation. What a man can do, let him do. Yeah? But what a man cannot do, it's okay to know that he can't do it. A man cannot bear children. Science, the way we want, oh, science is revolutionary. Science is evolving. There are things they're beginning to see about the men's reproductive organs. Give it time. Probably an embryo, an egg. Or just what a man can do. You say, oh, yeah, feminist, please don't open the door for me. I'm not handicapped. I can open my door. Okay, no problem. You can't open your door. Oh, yeah, please, please. Sorry. But then you're saying, oh, you watched the lady walk by with such luggage. You could not help her. You can. Why are you handicapped? It's just about time that we understand that men are human, men have emotions, men have feelings, and they are valid. The way women are fighting, he see us, hear us. Even when we keep quiet, read our body language. Even when you can't read our body language, don't tell us we are nagging when we're talking because you didn't hear the first time. We have to repeat another time. Men are big babies. Why do we say men are big babies? Do you know what it means to be a baby? Even me, I call my husband babe. Just last night, I was joking with him. We're talking about something. I was like, men are big babies. So I was like, which kind of baby? I said, why do you think I call you baby? Because you're a baby. And we laughed over it, but come to think of it, whether you call the one you love baby or not, I'm just saying that there's a child inside everybody. As ladies, sometimes I catch myself just spin around and dance in reckless abandon. Just I could see a little girl do something, I can relate. Because even at my age, I can still do it. I understand the joy, the zest, taking ice cream and saying, I like it. Or just see my mother and say, Mommy, Mommy. I'm an adult. What makes you think that men should not be given the freedom to express as well? Please. Because I feel like if we had allowed a saner society where men were free to express, cry if they needed to, laugh if they needed to, speak if they needed to, say I cannot do it if they needed to, we'll have had more stable men, more sane men, more emotionally balanced men, less hypocrites. Oh, yes, less hypocrites. Because sometimes you hear men when they talk in their circles and it baffles you. And that's why when you now catch a man crying, he does not cry, they wail. The problems are many. A lady now, small thing, you say, I don't like what you did, I don't like what you did, I don't like what you did. Sorry. It may look as if it's not working. When you're being pacified when you need to be pacified, it solves the problem. To your mind, to your emotions, to your heart, it solves the problem. But when you tell a man, oh, men should not cry, why are you talking like a woman? I hear just silly things. Maybe a man is trying to express himself. No, you know what? The way you spoke to me, I don't think I'd like to be addressed that way. I say, he's doing like they do like a woman. It's the woman that will be saying she does not like all this. As a man, you take it. Even transformer used to blow. When the power on it cannot take it again. You've not seen transformer. Transformers blow. The tension on it is too much. Sometimes it's just desensitization, to be honest. And I've come to understand with parenting that our parents did the match they could do with what they knew. And even we ourselves with parenting, we do the match we can based on what we understand. So for myself, I'd see my dad cry. If my husband wants to cry, I'm not going to say, hey, a man like you, I don't see anything weird in that. I don't see anything wrong with that. If he wants to tell me, express, I don't see anything wrong with that. If he wants to kneel to apologize, when I was growing up and my father used to kneel down to apologize, my mother used to make fun of him. You know the funny thing, my mother didn't used to apologize. So my mom, she would just use style. I don't know if it happens, if you have that kind of mother. Amazing woman, she just use jest. So you're angry like this now. You'll be angry, oh. You will be angry. You will not smile. Eh? So this is your serious face. That was her way of apologizing. Or maybe you've been asking her for something. She has not given you that day. She asked, how much did you say you wanted? Is this to that? But you better answer. Going. Do you still want the bag? I'm not like, if you want to give me, if you want to give me, say, yeah, come and carry. Something you have been begging her for since, you know. But now my father has dropped off my mom, so that I just, mom, I don't like this thing. She say, oh, really? Oh, sorry. Oh. But that's not even what I meant. She will still just, but then she'll still apologize, you know. And I think that with modern masculinity, the issue here is safe spaces. I don't think that society has provided enough safe spaces for men, starting with their fathers, because at the end of the day, your first role model is who you found as a parent, or your first contact of a model, semblance of a model. So the home spaces have not been safe enough for men to be able to express themselves as they should. And then they come with that bottled up emotion even to society. And then you now fall in love. You don't know how to say, My husband does not like talking. He avoids conflict. He does not want to fight. These are just, pent up trauma, if you'd allow me to use that word. And when we talk about modern masculinity, it's just a call to order, a call to reorder, and the fact that now men aren't boys anymore. How do we salvage the situation? Is by being safe spaces for them. The worst thing you'd want is to tell someone something, the person says A, but the person says even you bottle up based on the kind of reception you receive when you say something, even if it's not what the person said, even body language, as the case may be. And for men, when it comes to things like ego, it's extremely, extremely fragile. They test you with the small things first. Sometimes before a guy will tell you I'm cheating on you, you give one example. That's how one girl, she thinks I like her. She'll be passing me the office, passing me the office, passing me. I'm like, but I say, why is she not passing anyhow? He knows that, oh, you cannot go past the girl was passing you to the fact that the girl gave you food and you have been eating her food for 2 days. Do you get what I mean? So it's like testing the waters, it's testing the waters. It takes a semblance of emotional intelligence and empathy to be able to allow and give room and space for men to be emotionally vulnerable. And at the end of the day, it takes more than one to build that. For some, they even have broken relationships with their parents, their fathers, their mothers, their siblings. It didn't work. But now they are married, and it's going to be a trajectory if something's not done about it. So for modern day masculinity, I'd say for men, whether your wife, your parents, your lovers, your sisters, whoever it is, they don't understand, they don't hear you. Seek and create safe spaces for yourself. So when I say seek, I mean don't wait for the world to change, because the world may never change. Your wife may not change. That's how she met you. She loved you. She fell in love with you. Things may not change, but as a man, you owe it to yourself to create. Either you create. I don't think there's any man that will talk about a safe space for men that you not find men enroll. Even if men are not enrolling, men are listening. Even if they are not listening, men are watching. Even if they are not watching, men are sharing. I just say all this to say that men may not be the quickest to sign up to for therapy, for counseling, but very often you find, even when you're checking things men listen to, just somebody that speaks their hearts, understands their language. You find them either listening to these people, either talking about these people, either watching these people, either reading their books. So that's what I mean. If you find yourself in a society, a space that does not enable you to express your emotions, to be the truest version of yourself, by all means, either you create one, so it could be a change maker. Find like minds. I don't think it's going to be hard to find when it comes to men. It's women that they will say they are going for therapy, this gossip gang, or fashion gang, or hypocrisy circle, or envy and greed. At the end of the day, went for therapy, they are fighting each other. They are currently, the group has broken up. Men don't even have the time for all that. When men meet, they are talking business, contracts, making money. There's a lot of pressure on them to even start talking about, oh, there's no time for all that. So either you create one or you actually seek out one. I tell you for free that there are lots of safe spaces in terms of therapy, counseling sessions, even spaces that are anonymous. So anonymous spaces, most of the time when we hear, we think about drinking, smoking, what is AA groups. No. I just mean an anonymous spaces in terms of you could share your experience. Nobody knows whose experience that is. And then it's being spoken about, advice and all of those things are given. Another thing again I'll say is role modeling. Find someone. There has to be a man that's either has gone through what you've gone through, understands what you've gone through, survived what you've gone through, and is not what he has gone through. Do you get what I mean? So find those kind of people, seek them out, and then let them mentor you. Let them speak to you. Find other male figures that can model emotional openness, emotional transparency, emotional intelligence, by sharing their feelings, their stories, and then you yourself take it upon yourself to raise the next generation. So like be the change you want to see. Plant a seed in a young boy. The young boy is crying, but say, shut up. If your stairs are crying, we'll also cry. So let him. If he's hurt, ask him, why are you crying? Let him, and also be that kind of change. Another thing I'd say is unexpressed emotions don't disappear. The emotions you express, they don't disappear. They either leak by your body language, they either leak into your body, into your mind, into your soul, or into your spirit. And that's why sometimes find people sick, ailments that don't have. I just tell them, you know what, just find a happy place. Sometimes people change environments and then they're happier. Like me, anytime I go for vacation, me, I'm happier. I'm happier. My husband is aware I don't ask for too much in life than vacations. That's all. I'm not asking for too much in life. I just say all this to say that there's an environment that gives you a semblance of sanity. For men, it can be outside of work. It cannot be outside of you are married. It cannot be. You have to find a way to make your marriage work, as long as not as if it's domestic violence or any of those kind of extreme cases. So I say all this to say that men, your emotions are valid. It doesn't matter how you grew up, what you experienced, what you saw, what you heard as the norm. Today is always a good day to change a norm. Today, when you wake up, a new day is always a good day to change a norm, and can only change a norm first off, not by neglecting your emotions, denying your emotions, suppressing your emotions, but first of all, understanding the full range of your emotions, coming to the realization that look, you are human and you have every right to emotions. When you understand the emotions that you possess, you embody, and you carry, you'll be better suited to know how to channel these emotions to work for your good and for the good of others around you. I hope you're able to learn a thing or two about man, emotions, and masculinity. Until next time, when I see you on my couch.